sleep well last night at all. I'm really exhausted this morning. I was up tossing and turning for various reasons, but the biggest reason that I was up tossing and turning and not actually getting a good night's sleep was because I had a real overwhelming feeling of fear and sadness. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine before I went to sleep, and it just triggered something in me. A time in my life from 20 years ago, a situation that I didn't deal with fully at the time, and just pressed down and forgot about, and didn't deal with, didn't heal properly. And the conversation that we had triggered that time in my life and really brought it back to my now current reality, and it filled me with fear and sadness. And the fear really was surrounding the situation, the fear that that cycle was going to repeat itself again. And the sadness was, I think, probably around the fact that it's just the uncertainty, the not knowing, the fear of the unknown. And it made me realize that that's where we are all at right now. We're in this time space of not knowing what's coming next, not knowing how long we're going to be secluded and restricted from seeing each other and connecting with other people. And it made me realize that we have to look at the way that we are dealing with things in our environment and our situation. And we really need to look at changing the fear, which so many of us are feeling right now, which will manifest in different ways, into excitement. And I'm not trying to put down the seriousness of what's going on in the world globally right now, but what I'm trying to establish, I suppose, in myself, and hopefully maybe it will bleed out to you guys, but is that if we can change the way that we're looking at the situation, then everything around us will start to shift. And fear and excitement actually vibrate on the same level, on the same plane, but it's just our mindset surrounding those two emotions as to how we actually see them manifest in our day-to-day lives. So we can be in that fear mindset, which so many of us are in right now, and it's a dark, sad, heavy place. And it doesn't serve us. It doesn't help us with our nervous system. It doesn't help us with our emotional and our mental well-being. But we get stuck in that cycle and we don't see a way out of it. And so we end up vibrating really low in that energetic field. If we're able to try and switch our mindset surrounding that fear and looking at it from a different perspective, and looking at it from a different angle, and looking at it from how this situation is actually serving me now and happening for me and not to me, then it really helps us to just shift our perspective, and it will shift the energy in our environment around us, and it will help us to move forward from just a different time space than that of fear and the energy that vibrates. So how that relates to us now is, honestly, what I realized for myself, my routine is not the same anymore. Like, everything has shifted this past 3 weeks. This is week 3 now of our quarantine, and everything has shifted, and our routines are different. We still need our routine, and it's still imperative that we keep our routines, because as human beings, we need to have that structure. We need to have that routine in order to know from a positive mindset what we have. If we don't have a goal, then we're just aimlessly wandering along and it doesn't serve us. We have to have a goal, and whether that's just a goal for the next hour, the next day, the next week, month, year, whatever that might be, we just need to have that goal. And so because everything in our environments have shifted so dramatically in the past 3 weeks, we just have to make sure that our routine, albeit different to what it used to be, is something that still works for us. And if we can change our mindset around that and be grateful that we now have this new opportunity to see things from a different perspective, then it will serve us in a really different way. So for me, I don't have to get up and do the school run anymore. My kids are at school at home. It's beautiful. I get an extra hour in bed. I don't have to get up at the crack of dawn to do my meditation, because I don't have to be getting the kids ready for school with their breakfast and doing the school run. So I've been gifted an extra hour in my day so that I can rest and I can have some time out and I can sit and figure out how my day, my structure, my routine is going to look, because we're all in a new routine, we're all in a new paradigm, and we don't know how that's going to roll out. We have no control over it. So all we can do is really focus on how we are perceiving our situations to be in this current environment. And if we can move from fear of what is going on and what could be into the excitement of what is going on and how that can benefit us and how we can utilize that time to create and to build and to explore and to cherish this time that we just would never normally have, then that will shift our mindset. And when we shift our mindset, then everything around us will start to change. And I hope that helps, because it helped me shift out of that space last night of fear and sadness, to change my mindset and say thank you for that experience 20 years ago. I appreciate that lesson, and I see that I was potentially moving into that same cycle, and I've now stopped, and that's not going to happen because I've healed that space and time, and I'm able to appreciate it and move on with clarity and focus in a different direction, in a different dimension that is going to serve me and that is going to be beneficial to me moving down the line. So I hope that helps. I'm going to go and sleep a bit more now because I'm so exhausted, and I'm sending you so much love. Be safe.